Dear students, in this case study method of story writing, we're going to explain one thing to you, that you should learn how this candidate reflected. Now, this boy has been recommended. He was son of an army officer, had been a military school student, and had participated in football, had participated in cricket, was also part of a lot of adventure activities, was a person who was very helpful, very good in talking, and very trainable, very flexible, very observant. Now, this is all evident by the different stories he's written. Now, before he went, he gave a test, and here the test is in front. The pattern of thoughts was similar, so he repeated many of the stories as he found applicable there in terms of ideas, not dot to dot. So, similarly, you'll get to learn how to write in a simple but practical and effective way. So, please go for the case study method and learn from this. Hope you all understand. Thank you. Okay, dear students, we're going to talk about this boy. The boy is an army officer's son. So the story he has written here is about a boy. His father is posted in the army. He gets posted in Jabalpur. That is the time when he gets to travel around in Jabalpur and come to know about the lake and the different steamers and boats there. He gets excited. He decides to learn the art. He initially requests the boat owner to teach him. He teaches him a little, then he keeps regularly going there. He learns to master what is to be done in normal speed. Then he also learned to master the speedboat, which is also there. And this way he prepares himself thoroughly. And finally, within few days of practice, he becomes good at it, excellent at it. And then he requests his family to come over and gives him a trip around the lake with the same thing. He feels very happy about the thrill and feels happy that he has mastered the art. One more feather in his cap. Dear student, this boy again has written a different story. He's got recommended, as I have already told you. It is about an accident. He says that so-and-so was going to his school near the cantonment area, and then he saw that a vehicle has banged into a tree and the person has got trapped. As he realized that it was school time, there were some friends of his, he immediately decided to get him out so that he can get the person back to conscious, because he had become unconscious. He used the water bottles of the schools and sprinkled on him, and he became normal. Thereafter, they immediately stopped few vehicles going by, and they immediately reacted, seeing the children active. They also helped. And then finally, the driver who was injured was rushed to the hospital, which was nearby. And they felt very good that they could do it timely. When they told their parents, they were very proud of him. Right. So now this story again speaks about different values. Hope you've understood. This boy has written that Captain Rajveer was posted in the jungle and in the border areas. And one day in the jungle, while he was there, he comes to know about a terrorist hideout. They decide that they will go there. So Captain Rajveer tells his troops to be ready, and thereafter Captain Rajveer before that makes a proper plan where he decides that he is going to lead the group, but he also tells them to block the escape route and he always works that he is going to create a backup system. So once when he leads, the troops gets motivated seeing him taking the lead, and they also support, and they are able to surround the terrorists. And now that the terrorists were totally surrounded, they had no other option but to surrender. One of them who tried to escape was shot on the leg. Thus everybody got discouraged, and finally they came back successfully by catching hold of all the terrorists, and no casualty to their troops. So this is a lovely story. Now this story number 4, he's written that Ravi was studying in a school and in a college, and one day while he was coming from the college, he realized that one of his colleagues or classmates, is going ahead, and there is a girl who's watching her with a lot of fear. He realizes something is wrong, so he convinces the girl with the help of other girls to tell the matter. They tell that she is being troubled by a few set of boys and they are forcing her to do certain nefarious activities. So he tells not to worry. He decides to talk to the principal and the other people and convince them how they can catch the person. They use an intelligent process to use a recording, and they finally get the details of the different activities they do. And thereafter, with the help of the police and other people, they solve this problem. And thus the girl also gets out of the trouble. This is the story. Now, in the story, this boy had probably written, as he told, that he wrote about a lady being very strong. Ranjana had lost her husband in a road accident, but she did not give up hope. She decides to fight it out, and she realizes she has a small child who needs the best of education. She is also well educated, so she decides that she will become a teacher in the same school where the child is studying. And finally, due to improving of her education skills, communication skills, she is selected as a teacher in the same school. Thereafter, what she does is she monitors not only the other children but also her own child, and makes the child more competent. Finally, seeing the tendency of a lot of interest in mechanical toys, she grooms him to become a good engineer. Finally, he clears the exam and later on becomes a engineer in the government department, and thus she is able to get her circumstances into control. This is what she has written. Now, this boy has written a story about a captain given the duty to organize the May ball contest. So he's written that Captain so-and-so was posted in a unit in Delhi. So he was told to organize a party and to get everybody, all the family people together. So he decides that he's going to create a very good organizer party, not only in terms of activities for the children, but also for the couples, so that they can do a dance party in the end of this party. So he says, he has written that in the games he adds a lot of participative, whereas in the end when they have the dance, everyone enjoys the moment. Thus, everybody gets to get familiar with each other and becomes a memorable occasion. They ended up with a good dinner, and thus his organizing is appreciated by the commanding officer. That is what. In this picture, the boy has written about his military school experience. He has been a part of military school. So, Ravi, when he returned from his military school, his father told him that it's wonderful that he is doing well in studies, but he should evolve himself in games and other activities so that he can become a complete personality. He tells him that it is very important to be practical, and this interpersonal skill will also help him. So, he resolves to himself that he is going to do well. So, when he goes back to the military school, this time he volunteers for the different sports, for the different activities, and finally he achieves a lot of certificates and medals. So when he returns back, his father hugs him with happiness, and mother also says that he has done a wonderful thing. And this way later on he becomes a complete personality, very much on the footsteps of his fathers. Hope you've understood. In this picture, story number 8, this recommended candidate has written about a forest ranger officer, that a forest ranger officer realizes that a lot of people, villagers, are cutting trees and using it for their cooking. So he tells them that they should not do so. They should use gas stoves and electric stoves and stop cutting trees, because it is very important, and they would be punished by the government if they do so. He realizes that then also they will do it, so he takes the help of a social organization which facilitates them help, and over the period regularly convinces them, and as a result, when a year back he returns, he realizes that all the villages have adopted to the gas and electric stoves and stopped cutting trees. Rather, they have sowed more plants and made the village beautiful and better. Hope you all have understood. In the story number 9, this boy has written about Vikram, who has a good friend living nearby, the neighbors. He one day comes to know that the boy has high fever and is studying in a different school, and the exams are to be conducted. So he goes out, he tells them that, okay, I'll take care of you. As he had already given his exams in his school, so he helps him that after the medication to revise the subjects. And thereafter, the next day, realizing his difficulty, he decides to himself go with his own cycle and take him to the school and get his exams done. He waited there, and once he returns back, his friend is very happy because his exam went very well and with the final paper, and he was very thankful. But Vikram felt happy to see his friend successful in his efforts, and finally he also returns home whatever he has ended up that way. Hope you have all understood. This boy has written about Samrat, that he has gone to his cousin's place, and when he goes there, he realizes that his cousin brother has to go emergently to some place, and he is given the job to take his younger sister, that is very small, to the school. A day before, he realizes that the girl, the small younger sister which he has, is very afraid of the studies, so he decides to help her in her study. He playfully teaches her many things because she was getting afraid. He playfully teaches her all the tables, all the poems, and finally he goes along with her to the school and drops her. And when she comes back after the exam, he's very happy to note that she's done well. She also feels very happy, so he gives her a chocolate. Her Masi, that is the mother's sister, is very happy that he has done a wonderful job as a cousin brother. This story Samrat has written about a cricket team. As we know by his biodata, he is also a cricket player. So this boy Samrat is the captain of the team, and what Samrat does is that he, before the very important matches, every time he briefs the team a strategy. But when they reach the final, they realize that the opposite team is very, very strong. And so he changes the strategy as per the team and discusses with his friends. They mutually decide that they will be using regular change of bowlers to disturb the strong batting lineup and keep the fielding very rightly placed and alert to catch every catches, because catches win the matches, and he does that. This way they are able to get a very low score from the opposite team, and later on with good batting of Samrat and his friend, they win the match. Hope you've understood. Wonderful story. This story, Samrat has written about his representation on behalf of military school for his football championship. This boy has also been a part and parcel of football, so he talks about how the team went into football match and realizing that it is a pride and honor of the military school, their school they represent. So he gives his very best, particularly they practice well in advance for running so that they have better stamina and better speed, and thus they surprise their opponents in every matches with the speed. Of course, good goal practice also they did, so naturally they did not miss any shot, and they went even for long goals with speed. This way they not only won the match, they got the trophy back to the military school. This is what he has written. Hope you have all understood. Now students, you must have understood that this boy who got recommended wrote a very simple but natural and positive approach. In every story there was not any use of negative words, there was simplicity, but there was relevancy. The boy rightly reflected on self, and this was unique. None of the stories were melodramatic, they were mostly practical and speaking of healthy emotions. It also spoke how flexible the boy is and how competent the boy is in terms of past experiences, and also talks about how trainable the boy is. Because when you have a rigidity, you will not be trainable. And once you are trainable, the armed forces is going to pick you up. We don't want over smart, we don't want under smart. And this boy rightly was smart, thus got recommended. So hope you understood from this case study method. Thank you very much.